Now the chat's not working. Tell me something new. I mean, what's this? Because I don't know what I am going through right now. It seems to be chaos. Right, I've been trying to make this video for the past 2 hours, 3 hours or whatever, and the first time I forgot to turn the sound on. It worked perfectly except there was no sound. Second time the flipping camera went quick on me because I knocked the USB, and the USB is shite because it was made in China, just like these magnets. Right, as I was saying earlier, my device, okay, right, it needs 96 magnets for 2 C12s. Because there'll be 2 of them, right? And there's 12 slots. Okay, got the way. Yeah. Right, so we need 4 magnets in each slot. So that's 96. So obviously you can order the magnets, you might as well order 100, and then you'll have a few extra ones in case Chinese manufacturing is defective and you get a broken magnet. That way you have some spare ones. Problem is, don't order them in little small batches because you end up with different sizes. Yeah, the ones on the right are the correct size. The ones on the left are the wrong size. Well, you think, oh, they look the same to me. No, they're not. The ones on the left are actually 1mm shorter than the ones on the right. So let's put these together. Now can you see? I'm going to rest them against my ruler. Just put so at the flat. Now can you see? The ones on this side are the right size. The ones on this side are the wrong size because they're 1mm shorter. I am pressing them against the mat, and they're all flush against the mat. Also, the 20mm ones, which are supposed to be 20mm, actually read 90mm by 4.7mm by about 2.9mm, and they're supposed to be 20 by 5 by 3. And if they're not the same size, they're not going to be in balance, are they? Because you can have a stronger field on one side and a weaker field on the other. And the only way around that, which is a pain, is to stagger them. So basically it would mean having a big magnet in these slots. It would mean having a big magnet, then a small magnet, and then a big magnet, and then a small magnet, or a big magnet and 3 small magnets. Well, I don't want to be doing that. That's not what I'm building. I'm not building something that's cockeyed. I'm building something that's supposed to be precision engineered, and these flipping Chinese haven't got a clue what precision engineering is. So if I sound like I'm really upset, it's because, like I said, I've tried to make this video 3 times tonight. I want to make sure my audio is working, and it is. Yeah. I hope the Chinese don't conquer the moon. I really do. Okay, I think the reason why the Chinese want the moon is because they can build cockeyed buildings that don't have to be straight, and they won't fall down because there's no gravity. That is my theory, anyway. because they build buildings in China and they fall down, you know, as we've seen, or lots of Chinese buildings just don't stay up. So the Chinese come up with a brilliant idea. Oh, we have a problem. Our buildings don't seem to be very well at staying up. Do you think if we bought the moon or took over the moon, we could convince people our buildings were really superior because it's on the moon and they don't fall down? Yeah, brilliant idea. Yeah, let's go and conquer the moon. Yeah, so anyway, that's my theory. The Chinese want the moon because they can build anything they want and it won't fall over. Right. So anyway, right, so this is the problem. If you're going to order magnets, you've got to order them in one batch and not 2 or 3 batches. Because you see, if you get one batch of magnets and they're all different sizes, you can bloody well complain, right? You can complain, you say the magnets are all supposed to be 20 by 5 by 3 and they're not, they're all different sizes. But if you order them from different suppliers, they can say, oh well, this is our batch, you know. And you can't really argue. You can't argue with 3 different distributors because they say, oh, our batch is different to their batch and blah blah blah. Yeah, right. It still says on the eBay listing 20 by 5 by 3 millimeters, but they are not 20 by 5 by 3 millimeters. You get what you pay for, and you also get what's advertised. And if it's not advertised correctly, then they are in the wrong. They said 20 by 5 by 3, but these are 19 by something, yeah, by 4.7 by 2.9, and not 3. Right? And I'm getting annoyed because I ordered these original ones that were the right size about 2 years ago, and I tried to find it on eBay and it seems to have been deleted. And that's another batch. And these are all the wrong size because they're not 20 millimeters long. If I can get my ruler on here. These are 19 millimeters. I've just kept one out. It's hard to measure them all and get the light behind it. I need some piece of paper actually. I know this piece of cardboard that I sandwich in, that would probably work. I want some white background so I can see. Right. I would say that's definitely 19 millimeters. Definitely. I'll move these out of the way a minute because magnets fly around. I don't even need my ruler actually because this mat, two of these little squares is 20 millimeters, right? I'll lay down. But there's a shadow being cast on it. So hang on, let me try and get this so that the last time I moved my light, the camera died on me, so I'm not going to touch the light. I'm going to get another light instead. Right, let's get this on here. Right, now as you can see, we can see the white line, or the green line, on each side of this end of the magnet. Now, technically, I'll move it to the thin line. It's easy to see. Technically, that thin line should be, the magnet should be exactly halfway across that thin green line. Now look on this side, there's a huge gap. That's the millimeter that I was talking about. I'll just turn this mat around a bit so that the camera is straight. I'll move it down here a bit so it's easier to see. I'll use my pencil because it's not magnetic. that magnet on one end should be just over, gone too far now, a fraction over that green, that thin green line. Oh, God, this is so fiddly. Right, I've got about half that green line showing, and now if you look at this side, we've actually got quite a lot more. There's definitely a millimetre missing off these magnets on the 20mm side. So just worth noting. And I've tried. I've actually had to order more than once, and I've had to order extra magnets because I was convinced that maybe it was something to do with one of the suppliers. So I actually ordered from 3 different Chinese suppliers a batch of 50. So I actually got 50 from one Chinaman, 50 from another Chinaman, and 50 from another Chinaman, and everything that I ordered recently are all the wrong size. So you can't go looking to find a quality Chinaman that will supply you with good magnets, because they're all the wrong size. It's the fact that the original 50 that I ordered was about 2 years ago, and they were all the right size, but none of them are the right size now. So that's the problem. Anyway, my actuator, as I say, let's get back to this quickly. Flipping computer's gone to sleep now, and at least I got this video a bit shorter this time. Now, I had, as I was explaining previously, but there was no sound, I had a lot of job getting these actuators lined up properly, because the middle is very finite. Take that ball bearing out. Getting these actuators lined up, I knew it would be fiddly because I'd measured it. The tolerances are very, very tight, and I got it smack bang in the middle this time, because I glued this one on and I had to melt it with acetone, take my actuators off, and then reposition them slightly further to the right so I could get this one on the left lined up properly, which it is now. It's properly lined up now, but that's just there for aesthetic, because it's not the right height. It's actually supposed to be higher up, and it's not this size either. It's a small ball bearing like these. And what I'm going to be using is my I'm probably going to use a ring actually for the middle one, but I'm going to take this out of here because it's super glued in there right now. But I'm probably going to use a piece of my iron and my ring for the middle one, and leave the ball bearings for the outside one. But and I was also explaining that the coat hanger wire, or welding wire, I can't say it, the welding wire is not suitable. I was going to use welding wire for the actuators to go between the magnets down here and to come out the other end and go for the bobbins, and I'll tell you why I'm not going to use it. There's 2 reasons. The first reason is they're actually too thick for my bobbins, because they have to go through these little slots, right? They have to go through these little square slots, and I did design a square for a reason, because the whole point was to use laminations and not welding rod. And the welding rod is very, very hard. It's much harder than the mild steel. It is supposed to be mild steel, but it's not quite mild as these are. These are a lot milder steel. I can bend them quite easily with my fingers, and they're very pliable, but the welding rod is not very pliable. So it's a different kind of metal. It's different kind of the steel is not quite the same. Also, the welding rod doesn't cut up magnetism as well as the laminations do. So I've decided that I'm not going to rush into this and half build it and be imperfect with it. I've contacted the engineering firm to get some more laminations switching through here, which is basically I'm going to get 144 sections cut, and that's twice as many as what I really need. And the flipping camera is starting to glitch out on me, so this video is going to be pretty short, I think. So I'm just going to pull up this this new diagram. Find the damn thing. Oh. Right, I'm opening it now. Right, the I need to switch to flipping camera. I am going to hit it with my Lucozade in a minute. Right, okay, there's my new laminations of the outside. Camera, pay attention. Lucozade means energy. Energy towards the camera means brute force. Behave. Right. Right, okay, so anyway, the new laminations would be a lot better because there'll be flat surfaces. And the second, yeah, there's two reasons I was on about. The second reason I think, which I didn't mention, was the fact that there's flat surfaces in contact with the magnets. And that's what I need for the magnetic. I need to be able to pick up the magnetic field more effectively from the flat surface of the magnets to be switching it more effectively. Now using welding rod, it's round, it's not flat. So yeah, welding rod is not ideal. It would mean I would have to grind all the flipping flat surfaces onto it, and then they're not going to be equalised. And I don't have enough welding rod because I've already worked it out in the previous video which I uploaded. So I really don't give a shit about the fact that this is taking longer than what I want it to take. As I say, I'd rather do it right the first time than take 2 steps forward and then 3 steps backwards. I mean, that's the whole point, is doing it right the first time. So anyway, the magnets pop out quite easily. Get my pencil. Actually, that one's, I think I've got some blooming super glue on that one. I think it's kind of stuck. Oh god, I don't believe it. That one won't come out. Never mind. It's got a home now. It's just that top magnet. It's kind of stuck in there. I must have dribbled super glue down through the through the crack or something. Anyway, the rest of them can pop out, I think. Oh my god, they're all getting stuck. They better come out because, as I say, I've got to change my iron. I think a bit of acetone will loosen them up. Oh god, oh, they're really stuck in there. They'll come out with some acetone anyway. But I had to put these in because I was holding these little flanges here was helping me to line my switching laminations, helping me to get them lined up around this point, and that one comes out. Oh, yeah. Anyway, see if I can get it out. I was trying to get it out so I could show you my flipping iron. Right, I've got that one out anyway. Now, as I said, these flat iron pieces, I went to a lot of trouble to get them nice and flat, you see. So they would couple up with my laminations. Well, I'm thinking, bloody hell, what's the point if if I stick welding rod in there? That's no good. Anyway, they all fit really nice and snug. What have I done now? Oh, that magnet's come loose, that's why. Yeah, just come loose. Right, okay. Now I can... It was just slightly super glued in place, that one was. So, I've got a slight overhang sticking out the top, which the magnetic laminations, the switching, they will actually come up, as you can see from that drawing. And as you can see, there's an actual overhang here on this end. Don't think you can see my mouse. Probably not, unless I do that. But this overhang here is what locks up against this lamination. Like that. I think I got that right. Might actually overhang inwards actually, slightly, but because there's more iron, because there's a bit more iron here, it will guide that switching effect down into the iron. It will pull it in more, because when you have iron that's not even directly coupled to the magnet, and you just place it next to another piece of iron that's been polarized with magnetism, the iron resonates. It actually resonates with it. It's induced inductance. That's what inductance means. Inducing. It's induced. It's another word for inductance with that field. And so anyway, I'm not going to do much. I'm going to get the other laminations on the other one done. The actuators, I should say. I've got to get these set up on this one as well, and I've got to get them exactly lined up the same as this one. And it's fiddly work. It really is very fiddly, because when you're bending the laminations, I have to do it by hand, and they have to be very gently done so there's no kinks. I don't know if you notice, but there's that magnet balls come on. There's actually no kinks in my lamination. If you look at the light around there, got no kinks. There's no sharp kinks in it. It's perfectly round, or half moon shape, as best I can do it by hand. And it's not as easy as it looks, because when you're bending something that's got varying thicknesses, because this part here is thicker, it's got more steel going up from the top to the bottom, then this piece here, it's got less steel, so this would tend to bend more easily than this piece here, and you've got to actually compensate as you're bending it to get it perfectly arced around, so that every single lamination has to be perfectly flat against the previous one. And it was not easy, and I had to actually, even so, had to use my pliers to squeeze them and super glue them in place, so that after I put the double-sided tape between each layer, there's a layer of double-sided tape between each layer of the laminations. That's to help reduce any noise or any vibration that might happen. And then I had to put some super glue in and squeeze just a tiny amount, just to bond them so that they wouldn't move and everything else. And so anyway, I'm going to be starting on the next one in the next day or so. I want to get them exactly the same and matched up so they line up with this one. Got to be properly balanced. Because I don't want to put too many magnets in yet, because as you've seen, if I put the magnets in now and I start sticking the laminations in place and the super glue gets down there, then my magnets get glued in and I can't get them out. So I really don't want my magnets in there until I've finished it, because I want to be able to remove the magnets and be able to reconfigure them if I need to do. You know, because if the magnets are actually, if some of the magnets are stronger than others, I need to swap them out and put a weaker magnet. If one magnet on one side is stronger and the one on the other side is weaker, I need to be able to swap the stronger one out, change it around and get everything balanced, so that ultimately the switching effect will be that by just checking the ball bearings on the end, I'll be able to determine if there's actually an imbalance there, because the magnetic field will actually be detectable. It should be detectable on there. Well, not with my gauge, it's so sensitive, but if my file sticks to it, there's an imbalance. Or if I can test it with iron filings, even if the iron filings stick to the ball bearings, I know that there's a slight imbalance there, and it's going to be very fine work to get this really well balanced, you see. So what I'll end up doing is putting some iron filings in a plastic bag, right? Iron filings in the plastic bag, which are sealed, and I'll move the plastic bag around the ball bearing and see if, when I get all the magnets in, when I've got all the magnets set up, I'll be able to test to see if these ball bearings at this point here are magnetic or not magnetic. Because if they're not magnetic, that means that there's a perfect balance in these actuations, right? In the actuators, it means there's an equal balance. So when the rotor magnets come, as the rotor magnet passes the ball bearing, it's going to feel an equal amount of pull and an equal amount of push, which means it's going to be balanced, and that affects the lens effect and the slowing or braking effect of the rotor. That's why these got to be balanced. If you've got more pull, right, and less push, then you're not in balance. And my magnetic viewing film is not really very good for doing this, because it's just not sensitive enough. I've got my magnetic viewing film here and across these ball bearings, and it's just not. There's actually, you can see on that side, look, there is a slight, it's a little black dot there, even though there's no magnets on this side. That's because that this laminations are picking up the field from the other side. I don't know if you can see that little black dot when I move it around. Flipping computer's gone to sleep again. Right. Don't even see that. There's like a little black dot from the ball bearing, and that shouldn't be active at all, because that's what I'm talking about, balance. Anyway, the magnetic field is being focused around, and that's exactly what I want though, because you see that is working. The magnetic field from this side, from these magnets, it's been shaped, and it's resonating these other laminations on the other side, which have got no magnets in them. And that just shows you how the magnetic field can travel all the way around a large area. And how long is this video now? 29 minutes. Oh, that's about long enough, I think, for me to edit down onto YouTube or something as an update. So I'm going to stop now. I don't think there's anything else I wanted to mention at the moment. Okay.